What's it like to party with him?
Partying is weakness for the soul, my friend, so I try and avoid it.
Oh. Partying is weakness for the soul.
If I was not busy with everything at my disposal, that could potentially be dangerous, you know? That could be catastrophic. I could run into a wall.
All right, so it's been over 3 years since Conor McGregor last fought in the UFC, and since then we've seen more footage of him partying than training. So a lot of people doubt that he's really committed and motivated enough to return to the UFC and compete at a high level. Like, the only fight we've seen him in recently was against the Miami Heat mascot. That's all we really have to go off of. But he looked pretty good. You know, he sent the guy to the hospital after only 2 shots. So I think he still got it. And it seems like he's still definitely the best at trash talking. You know, he's still got that down. And he's not afraid to call out anybody. I mean, he's calling out some high-level fighters like Hezbollah. He said he wanted a sparring session with him, but he was too afraid to tag him. He said, "Let me spar Hezbollah, UFC, big gloves, a friendly affair, I swear." And then he also said he's going to make it his mission to score a 3-pointer with Hezbollah one day. And he also said, "I'd love to boot that little gimp Hezbollah over a goalpost." So Conor was talking a lot of shit and sounded confident, but I think it got a little too real for him because he deleted the tweets and Hezbollah responded and said, "If I meet him, I will cause some problems for him." So I think he got a little too carried away on one of his benders and started going off on Hezbollah. And then when he sobered up, he realized he didn't want any of that smoke. But, you know, it's good to see he's still excited about fighting, even if it's against a dwarf or the Heat mascot. At least that drive is still there. But now he just needs to take a break from the partying a little bit. I mean, it seems like pretty much every week now, there's a new video of him drunk or coked out of his mind partying, which is kind of funny and sad at the same time. I mean, it looks like he's just out of control, but also he's still a great entertainer.
Like Sturgis, South Dakota, Ferrari Week, baby!
What's more badass than bare knuckle and American rock and roll? Nothing, baby, that's what.
KFC 63 at the Sturgis Buffalo Chip in Sturgis, South Dakota.
One of the most... Stand your base. Stand your base. The space is your space, yeah? Go ahead, carry on. There's no one doing it like me. Nobody. I make more dough than a bakery, I do, yeah? Get me out of this table, you man. Then you can't tell me nothing, right? Conor, take the glasses off. For sure, no problem. Might put down 12 cans on this stream. Cuba!
So at this point, I don't know if he's more committed to fighting or partying. I mean, he was out partying a month away from his fight with Michael Chandler, which he eventually pulled out of because he had a broken toe. But people are speculating is really because he needed to go to rehab. Either way, though, he looked like he was in bad shape. Like just 3 months before the fight, he was tweaking out during an interview he was doing for his new Roadhouse movie.
You know, I'm blessed to have entered into the movie alongside him. He was patient with me. He gave me guidance, and I just took it. You know, we had a good rapport on set. He has 75 movies made. I have 75 bar fights made. And that's it. We had a good...
The Daily Texan, what can you tell us about your acting debut? Obviously, it's your first experience.
Hard work, but, you know, we got it done. It's in the bank for life. You know, you put something in the bank, maybe it's not going to be there for life. You might spend it. This baby is in there for life, and I'm ecstatic about that.
So after all the videos of him drinking and partying and just looking like he's coked out, people weren't very confident in the fight happening, and it definitely seems like Conor isn't as committed to fighting as he used to be. And I think the beginning of the end for him was probably after the Mayweather fight, because that was by far his biggest payday. He made 4 to 6 times his total career UFC earnings in that one fight, and his popularity was through the roof. So I think after that, he started to take his foot off the gas a little bit and was more focused on just trying to capitalize on his popularity, because the next year, only a month before his fight with Khabib, he he launched Proper 12. So he was cashing in and crashing out because he made a ton of money from that. It was a very good financial decision, but it's hard to stay focused and motivated when you're making that kind of money. And when you're promoting alcohol, when you're prone to alcoholism, that could be a disaster. And Conor said leading up to the Khabib fight, he started partying harder than he ever had during his career.
I was drinking on Bleeding Fight Week last one, I think. I was on the Conan O'Brien show. Yeah. Listen, I'm 2 days away from the biggest fight of my life, so I'll only drink half the bottle.
You were drinking in the build-up.
Yeah.
Was that common for you in your career?
Not to that extent, no. Not to that extent.
Why'd you do that?
Don't know. I had just venom in me or something. Don't know why. I had people holed up in a hotel.
So leading up to that fight, it sounded like his drinking might have been a little out of control, and he started to lose focus. You know, I think he cared more about just promoting his alcohol and being a businessman over being a fighter.
You know,
it's Shane the Bush's birthday.
I'm not understanding.
Here's a goggle for you, Dana. Proper 12.
I'm not
Proper 12 on me. Hang joy.
And when
Here,
I go to the
hang
cage,
joy. Just let me give him. It's his birthday.
I'm gonna go like
yeah, Shane
my
the Bush.
last fight.
Happy birthday,
Like,
Shane the Bush.
I don't drink.
Why don't you drink?
I don't drink.
Why don't you drink?
I never drink.
I'd say you're some buzz at parties.
I never drink.
You're mad backwards. You're
never
dead when I get my hands on you. Do you hear me?
I never
You're
drink.
fucking dead.
I never drink.
I'll drink it. Me and the Irish Boston animal, Dana White, the OG of the fight game. He'll sup this bad boy.
I think it's gonna be long night for him.
Yes.
He
Oh,
knows
Lord, save me. That's
He knows
tasty.
this. He knows this.
Yeah, and he does not like when people turn down his whiskey. Like a year after this, he punched some older guy at a bar who refused to drink it. So he's completely out of control, and the money and the fame has definitely gone to his head. I mean, he's just doing whatever the hell he wants. Like, also, looks like he's cheating on his wife all the time, which obviously isn't very surprising. I mean, most famous athletes do that, but usually they try their best to keep it private. But with Conor, it seems like he just can't help himself, and he doesn't care how public it is. You know, after his big KO victory over the Heat mascot, there's a video of him bringing a girl to the bathroom during, like, an after party at a bar or something, and she ended up accusing him of taking advantage of her, but the case was dropped. Either way, though, it's got to be embarrassing for his wife, especially with what happened recently. Like, Conor was with her at some fighting event, and I guess he forgot she was there, and there's this girl in front of him dancing, and he started pulling on her hair and tried dancing with her, but then I guess he remembered his wife was behind him, so he turns around and tries to laugh it off and pulls on her hair a little bit. So he's just living in his own world, and I don't know if he cares enough to really get back to being a high-level fighter. Like, it's hard to imagine he's that motivated. He already has all the money, the legacy, you know, he accomplished everything he wanted to, so I think he just cares more about enjoying himself now, which apparently Joe Rogan loves to see. It's funny, because he sounds like he doesn't care if Conor were to fight again, and he likes that he's out having fun. Like, Rogan was talking about this with Cameron Haynes last year, and Cameron was like, man, it's hard to see him out partying every night and wasting his talent. But Joe's like, oh, let him enjoy life. He deserves everything he has.
And then I also want Conor because I want Conor to stop partying and fucking get serious.
Well, it's hard because why do you become famous in the first place? Why do you become successful in the first place? So you can live like a fucking baller.
Yeah, but
and that's what Conor's doing.
But you can do
Did you
that
see he
shit when
pulled
you're
his
old.
Yacht up to the fucking Formula One.
Yeah.
So he's watching the Formula One while he's eating
I
breakfast
know.
off the back of his yacht.
It looks great, but
fuck yeah, it does.
But I mean, you got a shitload of money. You don't do that.
I'm a different person than Conor McGregor.
I know, but
I have different motivations.
But he's in his. I'm not quite in his prime, maybe a little older, but he's got so much talent, so much ability. You can party and be a fucking madman.
Or you could be jacked on your yacht, which is what you want.
Yeah, but when you're 40 and you got no other choice, do it then.
Well, but you can do it now, and that's what he wants to do. The problem is,
I fucking hate it though.
The problem is like
I'm sick of seeing pictures of him partying.
Yeah,
I'm sick of it. I want to see him in the gym.
I want him to do what he wants to do. And if Conor McGregor wants to fucking buy diamonds and lay around in the sun, I'm all there for it. The guy earned every fucking penny he got. I'm happy for him.
But also, I think Joe's kind of in denial about how bad the partying and drinking and doing coke has really gotten for Conor. because he's talking about the clip of Conor partying a month out from his Chandler fight, where he's at a club with his wife and he's shirtless and he's jumping around. And Joe's like, you know, he might not be drinking there. He could just be really enthusiastic.
Did you see him partying like a night or two ago?
You reckon real?
I mean, it doesn't mean he's drinking.
He's vibing. He's
with his wife. He's got his shirt off. Looks like he's having a good time. I mean, it looked like he wasn't sober, but he could just be a fucking maniac. And he's kissing his wife. He's he took his shirt off. He's getting crazy. But I mean, he could just be enthusiastic. It doesn't.
I don't know.
It looks a little fucked up.
Listen, I saw Roadhouse. He ain't that good actor. You know?
And some fighters can get away with partying leading up to fights and still have great performances, like John Jones and Ryan Garcia. So maybe Conor could pull it off, but, you know, he's pretty out of control and he's getting older. He had that bad leg injury and he just doesn't seem to be that motivated, but maybe he's able to flip a switch and is able to get back on track. It's not looking promising, though, but it would make for a great redemption story. Let me know what you guys think, and then make sure you check out my Patreon account if you enjoyed this video. I have a ton of content up there, over 100 exclusive videos. You can hear about the time Brendan Schaub accidentally exposed Joe Rogan, or some of the cringiest Joe Rogan Experience episodes, or the time Tim Dillon humbled Whitney Cummings. There's a ton of good stuff up there. If you like the channel, make sure you check it out. I'll put a link in the description.